You're still watching TVC Breakfast. Now, Comfort Emerson was arraigned at the Ikeja Magistrate Court and remanded at the Correctional Center in Kirikiri on Monday. She was arraigned on a 5-count charge ranging from physical assault to destruction of the aircraft.
She's destroying the aircraft.
After being handed over by Ibom Airline to the Airport Police Command, Comfort Bobby Manson was presented before Magistrate O.O. Salami of the Samuel Ilori Courthouse, Ogba, on Monday, where she was ordered to be remanded at Kirikiri. In count 1, the defendant, while aboard the aircraft parked at the Muritala Mohammed Airport Terminal 2, Ikeja, allegedly behaved in an unruly and disorderly manner by shouting on top of her voice, abusing and assaulting the flight crew, and refusing to disembark from the aircraft after landing. She is also accused of assaulting one Juliana Edward by slapping and hitting her cheeks with her right hand. The defendant also allegedly willfully dragged and tore the crew member's wig valued at 110,000 naira. In count 3, the 26-year-old is said to have hit one Jokpame Shagun on her face with her slippers. In count 4, she's also accused of willfully damaging the airline's divider curtain, valued at $2,500 US. According to the police prosecuting the case, the 5 alleged offences are punishable under Section 4, Subsection 2 of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria By-Law of 2005, as well as Sections 172 and 350 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State of Nigeria 2015. TVC News also gathers that the defendant had legal representation on the day of the hearing. She has now been ordered to be produced from Kirikiri back to the court on October 6. Kemi Foladeyemo, TVC News, Lagos.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Police Force has confirmed receipt of an official petition from the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority over an unruly behavior that allegedly obstructed the safe operation of an aircraft in violation of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Regulations 2023. Force Public Relations Officer DCP Olumuyiwa Adejobi says the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has directed the Commissioner of Police, Airport Command, to immediately commence a thorough investigation into the matter. Now, the investigation is to unravel the circumstances which led to the incident and ensure justice is served accordingly. The force assured the public of its commitment to upholding safety and security within the Nigerian aviation sector. Now, joining us in the studio for this conversation is aviation analyst and aviation editor for New Telegraph, Mr. Wole Shadare is our guest today. Welcome to the show. We're quite honored to have you on the show because we know that when it comes to aviation, you are top of everything. So we're honored to have you on the show. And then we have this beautiful book to talk about as well, 100 Years of Aviation in Nigeria, History, Issues, and the Prospects. But I'll start with this question when it comes to comfort. It's been all over social media. It's been buzzing. We've been hearing different reactions to this story. As an aviation expert, what do you make of this? There are lots of blame games. People are blaming Ibom Air, people are blaming the Aviation Authority in general, people are also blaming Comfort, and we don't even know where to stand at this point. But quickly, what do you make of this?
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. It has been a week of confusion, a week of crisis in the aviation industry, not because the regulation is not there. We've seen the human angle of crisis in the aviation industry. And these things happen all over the world. It's just that it's becoming a new thing. Not that it's becoming a new thing. We've had it in the past, but maybe the way it was handled wasn't escalated to this level. But first and foremost, it's not acceptable for anyone to assault anybody. Some lawyers will tell you that it's a criminal offense, and some will also tell you it's a civil offense, depending on the gravity of the assault. So, and I think the airline has done the right thing by, taking the case to court, incidented it, and then the police, took the matter to court. If we look at what has happened, it shows that it is what I describe as air rage. Yeah, we've had it so many places, like I said, but the manner we handle it is, or the manner it was handled is quite different from what we have seen. But from the perspective of the airline felt it has done what it's supposed to do by incidenting it. The regulatory authority also has waded into the matter. The airline operators of Nigeria, I felt they were so irresponsible to have done what they did. Is like you already proven her guilty even before she was tried, and even a murderer is presumed to be innocent until proven guilty. So I think that was irresponsible on the part of airline operators of Nigeria. And a lot of experts, pilots have even come hard on the airlines that they had no power. We don't know where they derived their power to stop her from flying domestically and internationally. Yes, Ibom Air was right because Ibom Air is the aggrieved airline now, so they have the right to place her on no-flight list, but not for the AON. If you also look at what played out, you also look at it that Ibom Air has done a lot. I love what the crew did. In the face of provocation, they were very calm. They didn't touch her initially.
But not to cut you short here, I just want to say something. You said the airline has done the right thing. A lot of people will argue because we are seeing what had happened. And we know this has happened. I'm
coming, I'm just building.
Okay, because I want you to hit there for me.
So, the crew, what we saw, the lady didn't, retaliate or do everything. It was captured on video. But a lot of people felt also that Ibom Air, the airline staff that we saw trying to pull her out didn't cover themselves in glory. They should have called the security people to pick her at that moment. Probably they called the security people, but it took them so long getting to the aircraft. And again, they had no right to drag her the way they did. I felt it, my own personal view, I felt they didn't have the right to drag her the way they did, even, exposing the upper part of her body, which wasn't good for the eyes anyway. And I'm so excited that the minister has also condemned this, that we shouldn't debase womanhood. We should have even given her all the rights that she's required, even if she had done anything. What I expected was that they would have allowed her to go and pick her at the baggage area, or pick her almost towards out of the terminal. That scene was not necessary because Ibom Air has a brand to protect, and I felt that wasn't good for the image of the airline. But at the same time, when we have crises like this, it depends on the action we take. Some actions will be right, some action, it was on impulse and they felt delayed. But we didn't see all that happened before the video. So seeing what happened before that time will give us an idea of what actually transpired before the lady was enraged, before we saw what she did.
Well, my colleague yesterday suggested that maybe all airlines should have CCTVs in the aircraft, so we can have clear recordings of things like this. I don't know where to start because I have so many questions I want to ask you. Yes. With what we have seen so far, do you see a need for Nigerian airlines to train and retrain their staff? First question. Second question. The incident with Comfort Emerson, can you relate it with that of Kwam 1?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, that's number 2.
Let's stay at 2.
Let's stay at 2 before I ask the question you want to ask.
Training,
okay, let's stay at 2.
I think training is a continuous thing in the aviation industry. Everybody gets trained in the aviation industry because it's a very sensitive industry. It's life-dependent industry. You can't just behave the way you want. It's governed by regulation. Aviation is the most regulated sector in the world. Any little mistake could lead to fatality. So I believe, yeah, they were trained, but it also depends on how were they able to carry out their training.
Sorry, maybe I didn't put it well. I'm talking about customer relations training.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Especially how to handle,
yes, how to handle. I
customers.
felt that matter should have been better handled.
Exactly.
Is my opinion. Yeah, it should have been better handled.
Yeah.
It's not everything you escalate. It's not everything you bring to the public. We see a lot of things that happen even outside the shores of this country. We travel and see some of those things. You don't even know the mental state of that person. A little thing could, trigger, but it's not acceptable in aviation. It was a case of assault, and I believe she's going to have a day in court. So we need to allow the matter to take its course. But one thing I also look at it, one thing I also is the second question relating to.
No, before the second question, before answering the second question, I think we have
but we'll
to
quickly go on a break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the conversations because there's definitely a lot to talk about with Mr. Wole. We'll be right back. Yeah, welcome back. We're still speaking aviation, and we have Mr. Wole here with us. And before we went on that break, we were speaking about the similarities between Kwam 1 and Comfort.
Yes, there are two different issues here. The case of Comfort is a pure case of assault. That of K1 is more grievous, in my view, than that of Comfort. I think I'm so excited that the government has, or the police has decided to prosecute K1 on the matter. We shouldn't sweep it under the carpet.
Right. Yeah, so as our audience can see, we have a book here which is titled 100 Years of Aviation in Nigeria, History, Issues and Prospect. And I believe that it's an appropriate time for us to quickly talk about this book. So, vis-a-vis what has happened, because if you look at it, more than 100 passengers, they've had issues disrupting flights, over the years, especially post-COVID. I don't know whether it's a stress of COVID, but, looking at your book, how does it, address the aviation challenges? We are talking about we want to upgrade the Murtala Mohammed International Airport and some other upgrades and some other things that we need to do vis-a-vis the international airport. And then if you look at your book, you're saying that it talks about the Nigerian Airways, the botched one. It also talked about the Nigeria Civil Aviation and the high mortality rate. Exactly where have we missed it that has now caused stress in the aviation industry?
Thank you very much. If you look at aviation is going to be 100 years in November, and if you look at it critically, we have done so well in terms of aviation. Right. But the issue is that are we where we are supposed to be? The answer is no. Have we done the things that other people have done over the years? The answer is also no. But we are not where we were 10, 15, 20 years ago. There's a gradual improvement, but that improvement is very, very slow, like a snail-like progress we have made. And I'm actually excited that the minister has taken the bull by the horn with some of the reforms in the aviation industry, which we have here. We also looked at the high mortality of airlines over the years. In less than 30 years, we've lost over 100 airlines. Over 100 airlines have closed shop. We also look at what are the reasons why these airlines are closing shop. Because of finance, because of regulation, because of infrastructure. So we also look at the regulatory framework of the NCA, where we also have issues that deals with the case of Comfort and K1. So all these are just regulations. We also look at where we have missed it, and we're also looking at what we can do to correct the mistakes of so many years. And I'm excited. If you look at what this government has done in the last 2 years. Very, very remarkable in terms of policies, in terms of regulation, revamping our industry. And we also have the airport, the new terminal that is coming up. A lot of people have criticized it. I said, we are not a serious people. If anybody should criticize that project, then it means that we don't want aviation to grow. Ethiopia is building an airport, a terminal, worth over 4 billion naira. And what we are doing is to spend $477 million to revamp our airport. If you look at the Muritala Mohammed Airport in its current state, it's really shame of the nation. And the government has taken the bull by the horn to say, no, we just need to behave like other people. You go to Senegal, look at their infrastructure. You go to Ghana, look at the airport infrastructure. So we should begin to see ourselves as serious people. And so many people have also supported the government in its infrastructural renewal. So it's a good one. So the book covers a lot of things from policy, also looked at Nigeria Airways, how we mismanage Nigeria Airways, and that is why we also talked about national carrier. We have attempted to set up national carrier for more than 20 years. It's not rocket science. So why don't we have a national carrier that will give us a face? The airlines, the domestic airlines have done well, but no country grows its infrastructure, aviation infrastructure, without a national carrier. You can't create a hub without a national carrier. So I support it. I also look at those who have criticized it, that government has no business in business. But we also forgot that some other countries like Ethiopia own Ethiopian Airlines 100%, and this is the most viable, profitable airline.
But not to cut you short, they don't criticize it because they don't like it, but because of the amount, and they are hoping for accountability.
No,
but we're not talking about that now.
That amount is too.
We're talking about this book. We're not talking about that now. It's a fantastic book, and my own is that, you know, how do we get Nigerians to read this? Because I feel like some people that are in aviation do not understand aviation. That is the reason why they take some actions that should not be taken. And we don't have the habit of reading in Nigeria. This is a beautiful book. You know, it says issues, the history, and the prospects. How do we get people to read this book?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have inquired. They want to get it because when it was launched, the minister was there, the FAN MD was there, the DGNCA sent representative. They were so excited because it's like a handbook for everybody, even for schools. A lot of schools have even called to say they need copies. Yes, even we are looking at airlines. Hopefully airlines can have them in their aircraft so that people can read in their spare time. So aviation is so important to the economy of Nigeria, and we should treat it very well. And that is why I sat down to say, no, let us do something. Let us leave a legacy. Let us put up something that people will read even after we have left the industry. Maybe in the next 20 years, maybe in the next 10 years, people will still see this and they are still relevant till in the next 30 years.
And then the most important cases that we're speaking about, Kwam and Comfort, does this book have anything that says about issues like that?
Yes, it talks about regulation. And a regulation encompasses every aspect of the aviation industry. It talks about how to, we also talk about bilaterals, how to do business with one country and the other in aviation industry. It also talks about unruly passengers too in it. So a lot of things, a lot of body of regulation, how the various agencies were formed in 1999, the NCAA, the Nigeria Space Management Agency, and the like. So it deals with function of each agencies, what they do, who to hold responsible if there's a problem in the airport. We know FAN is the landlord of the landlord in the airport. We know NCA is about regulation. We know NAMA is about airspace navigation and airspace security.
But not to cut you short again because of our time, there's this very important question I want to ask you. It's quite difficult and I'm going straight to it. A lot of people have said that, you know, the case between Emerson and Kwam, you know, in your perspectives, do you think that Nigerians or the government was a bit lenient? Do you think that there was partiality there?
Yes,
this is a question from someone actually.
Yes, I think so. They're very, very lenient. By now, K1 should have, you know, had his day in court. by now. But look at the manner that of Comfort was handled swiftly. Suddenly the system worked. What happened?
But now we're saying that
she's a nobody.
But well, now they're saying that investigations are also happening.
Yes, I think.
So let's not forget to add that.
I think the issue of Comfort triggered that, probably triggered that, and the authorities felt that no, this is not going to do us any good. We need to move quickly.
That's right.
Okay, this calls to attention the way we prosecute issues in Nigeria. There's swift, as you said, the system suddenly worked for one, and the system is quite slow for another. Do we have a body in the aviation industry, like in sports we have a court of arbitration? Do we have a body like that in the aviation industry that looks at issues that concerns aviation even before the police and every other person comes in?
Yes, we have aviation security, and we also have. It depends on the gravity of the offense. Yes, there are issues that the NCA handle on their own. There are issues that, when they are beyond what NCA can handle, they refer them to the police to handle. So we all have our own areas where we concentrate, but the major job of the NCA is to make sure that nothing interferes with safety of lives, safety of passengers, and safety of aviation workers around the airport. So, because aviation is all about safety.
Yeah. Right.
So, what do we say about the white elephants, airports that have been, introduced so far? Because we have that of Bielsa International Airport, never came to bear, and even talk about Benin City, and so many parts.
No, we are still building airports, and these are conduits by some state government. Let me not categorize all of them. Some state government.
So some will come into power and say,
yes,
I want to build airports.
Airport is,
exactly, that's what I was saying.
Airport is capital intensive, and is you can use it to really put your hand in the cookie jar. So it's very easy for them. Nobody query. You can say you spent 150 billion naira to build the airport. Nobody will query you. So most of these airports are needless. Most of them are unviable. Only 4 airports are viable in Nigeria: Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Owerri and Kano. These are viable airports. In fact, Lagos rakes in about 70% or 65% of the entire revenue. So what you generate from Lagos is what you use to service
the rest of
the
the
rest.
But very quickly before we go, because of our time,
Yeah.
where exactly can people get this book? Because I've just skimmed through it and I see that it's a whole lot, just like a compendium of what happens in the aviation sector.
I think they can call me directly to get the book.
Is there,
and how much does it go
a soft
for,
copy of it?
It's 20,000.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Is there a soft copy of it?
Yes, I have a soft copy.
Yeah.
Of it.
Okay, so that means
we're trying to put it on Amazon.
Amazon,
Yeah, well, I think it's a fantastic book, 100 Years of Aviation in Nigeria, History, Issues, and Prospects. And I think everybody should grab this book. It's just 20,000 naira, but you get to read a lot about aviation in Nigeria so that you can do better. Thank you so much, Mr. Wole. You are really good with aviation. You're just spitting facts. Thank you so much. Let me give you a big handshake. Thank you so much. It's been amazing having you on the show. Well, still ahead on TVC Breakfast, how can better sustainable waste practices reduce the flooding crisis in Nigeria? We will answer this question just after the break. Do stay with us.